Fox Sports.
We are Black Hawks. We are Florida.
A busy Saturday in San Diego is drawing to a close. There's still some waves out there, though, and there's still some baseball to be played at Petco Park. Getting the infield ready, an early evening start for David Phelps and Ian Kennedy. A game apiece for these Padres and the Marlins. Hi, everybody. Rich Waltz along with Tommy Hutton. Welcome to San Diego. This is a great pitcher's park, and it used to be a tough place to hit a home run. But the way the weather has gone on the West Coast and the way the game went last night, I don't know that that's the case anymore.
No, I think we were all surprised to see the Padres hit the 3 solo home runs. Maybe not as surprised as Dan Herron. Brett Wallace went deep first. It was his first home run as a Padre. Just being called up. How about Yonder Alonso? He's hit 365 with 3 career home runs against the Marlins, and then it was Matt Kemp with a bomb. He's been hot over the last 12 games, and that was a mistake pitch. Dan Herron talked about it.
Still not a bad start for Herron, and the Marlins have had some pretty good starting pitching over this stretch. And David Phelps will try to continue that tonight here in San Diego.
You know, believe it or not, certainly with his time as a New York Yankee, David Phelps has never faced the Padres before. He has a really good earned run average in the month of July. It's 2.40. However, he's 0-2, so he hasn't gotten the support he's needed.
Ian Kennedy, just like Phelps, was a Yankee draft pick. You see his last 3 outings.
Yeah, he's had kind of an interesting run himself. In June, a low ERA. In July, it's been over 4. But here's a guy who knows how to pitch. A few years ago, 2011, Ian Kennedy, a 21-game winner.
Gorgeous night here in San Diego. I know that gets redundant, but it really is. The defense for the Fish has been quite good. Some defensive highlights coming back into San Diego for Miami and the Padres. Phillies down below. Jessica Blaylock. Jess?
Well, the Marlins have been known all season long for playing great defense, and they have not disappointed lately. You take a look at this series in particular, and there have already been so many impressive catches, starting with one by Casey McGee on Thursday night. In the opener, Casey McGee playing third base with Martin Prado at second. He looks to make a play on a ball that was popped up into foul territory. It actually looked like the ball may have been heading for the stands, but McGee is able to run it down and make the play. Almost gets taken down by the wall, but he would be just fine. Then later in the game, Christian Yelich makes one of two spectacular catches from that night. Proves why he's a Gold Glove winner. Take a look at how far he travels to make this play. 81.6 feet. He said that was actually the more difficult play to make. And then last night, Ichiro proving that he can still make plays at 41 years of age. He robs Matt Kemp of a hit on a well-hit ball to right field. He makes the catch, almost runs into the wall. His teammates, though, loved it, including Dan Herron, who was on the mound last night. Here is manager Dan Jennings on the defense that he has seen so far in this series.
To have Ichiro out there and step up the way he did, and the distance that he ran to get that ball was impressive. And, you know, just in this series right here, we've had some tremendous plays in the outfield. Yelly cuts the ball off yesterday down the line and saves a base, keeps a single instead of a double. Made two great catches the other night. And, you know, that's the one thing, having athletic players like that they can go out and make great defensive plays. And we've been able to do that all year, both out in the outfield and in the infield.
And they'll continue to look for great defense tonight as they try and take Game 3 in this series. Be sure to keep it right here. Coming up next, it is first pitch between the Marlins and the Padres. The Fish took Game 1. San Diego got Game 2 last night. The Fish will have David Phelps on the mound. He was frustrated with his last start. He'll look to bounce back tonight.
By Toyota. Let's go places by Kaiser University. For more information, go to kaiser.edu. By AutoNation. Visit us online, autonation.com. And by the all-new LG G4. See the great. Feel the great. Great view here in San Diego. Ian Kennedy, Huntington Beach native, north of here, on his way out, and he'll face this Miami lineup. It's brought to you by JM Lexus. Cole Gillespie finds himself not only in right field but leading off. Martin Prado is at second base. Christian Yelich out in center field. Justin Bohr hits cleanup. Michael Morse is in the lineup in left, hitting fifth. Derek Dietrich slotted sixth at third. JT Realmuto behind the plate. Danny Echeverria at short, and David Phelps will hit ninth.
And there is a look at the 30-year-old right-hander who's had a little better success a month ago. A much better ERA in June at 2.31. His earned run average here in the month of July about 4.5. So he can be off and on. A lot of times it depends on which secondary pitch is working for him.
Gillespie's in the box. Kennedy delivers. Pitcher Penny brings you that first pitch. Tom Hallion growls strike one. Dan Bellino, Chris Siegel, Alfonso Marquez, the rest of the umpiring crew. Line foul. 0-2.
I would think, Rich, with the little earlier start out here, the shadows could play a little bit into this early on, the first few innings.
Yeah, the start time tonight about an hour and a half earlier than last night. 0-2. Yeah, that's Tom Hallion, and that's strike three. And that's way inside, actually.
Yeah, not according to Tom Hallion, so you have to live with it. Gillespie probably knows in the back of his mind that wasn't a strike, but according to Hallion, it was.
This is not a true center look. It's an off-center camera from center field, so you're not lined up from rubber to plate. So a pitch like that may look like it's on the corner. Once you square it up on Fox Tracks, you find it's actually in. And to a right-handed hitter, a pitch that looks like it's just out when you square it up is actually on the plate. Martin Prado with Yelich behind him. Marlins obviously struggling to score runs last night. Just a run on 5 hits. Andrew Kashner challenged them with fastballs all night. A little different style here with Ian Kennedy.
Yeah, you're not going to see the 96, 97 mile an hour fastball from Kennedy. You'll see him move the ball around a little.
You saw in that lineup sequence, Prado's been hot, and he shoots that one down the right field line. It's in for a hit. Over for it is Kemp. Prado's not stopping, on his way to second, and he is there with a double. His 14th double of the season. And Miami's in business with one out here in the first.
Yeah, a little 5-game hitting streak now for Martin. This is just great hitting, and also a good read on his part. He knows that Kemp is going toward the line. All of his momentum is taking in the other direction, so he's not going to be able to plant and make a strong throw to second base. Well, Prado knew he was going to be able to get there.
Christian Yelich now. And a strike from Kennedy. Yelich last night did not get a hit. He was 0 for 3, but he did reach base. So his streak of reaching base is at 23 straight. That's one shy of the active leader in Major League Baseball. Brett Gardner is at 24 going into today. Yelich is backed up by a fastball. It's 1-1. So pitchers are the focus here in San Diego on a day in baseball where a San Diego native threw a no-hitter.
How about that for Cole Hamels in Chicago?
Yelich swings through that fastball, and for all the teams, especially the Cubs, who was the opponent and are one of the teams that are scouting him, I mean, that's a pretty good audition. That one flipped out to short. Barmes makes the catch. Here's the Padres defensively, brought to you by BMW.
Yeah, they have a few changes as you check in the outfield with Justin Upton, Will Venable, Matt Kemp will in the lineup tonight. Solarte, Barnes, Jerko, and Alonso around the infield. And Derek Norris once again behind the plate.
There's Mr. Venable out there.
just in the shade. There's sunshine in center and right. And on the mound, Bohr stands in the shadows. Kennedy flips up a breaking ball for a strike.
That sometimes is a question with that curveball or changeup, which one might be working best for Kennedy. So the curveball, then he came upstairs with a fastball. And if you watch him, if he's at his best, he'll have all 4 pitches, and he'll use all 4 corners of that strike zone, and primarily he works off his fastball.
I like quadrant. That's more of a sabermetric feel to it.
I threw that in for you.
It's a breaking ball in the dirt. Norris smothers it. It counts 1 and 2. Well, Ian Kennedy, a really nice run in Arizona, including a season in which he went 21-4 and finished 4th in the Cy Young voting in 2011. You pitched to an ERA of under 3 in Arizona. You've had a great year, and his was 2.88. Bohr did not go.
That one that's up high is usually a little easier to lay off of and hold your swing than the one that's down.
Michael Morse is on deck. 2 balls, 2 strikes. A Martin Prado double, and he's out at second base. And Bohr shoots it into left field. That's a base hit. Upton has it. Stop sign is on. Upton's throw is on the money. The Marlins will have to settle for runners at the corners.
Boy, you love the way Justin Bohr has started to do that. First game of this series, he had an RBI base hit the other way. That's why he's put together a nice month of July with 16 RBIs. The only thing that kept him from an RBI there is that he hit the ball sharply, and Upton, with a strong arm in left field, charged it and probably would have had Prado at the plate.
Now Michael Morse. Bohr crossing up not a full shift, but a bit of a shift to shoot it into left field.
It's amazing when you think about it, Rich. Justin Bohr, 3rd on the team in RBIs.
A breaking ball and a strike to Morse. Morse walked last night in a pinch hitting role. That was in the 9th, and that was against Craig Kimbrell. Kennedy misses in. USC out of Huntington Beach. Here's what it's looking like from the plate with sunshine and shadows. The ball goes from light to dark, and it's moving at 92-93 when he throws his fastball. That's the changeup, but still, gives you an idea of how tough it can be on hitters.
This has always been a pretty good matchup for Michael Morse. He's played a lot of games against the Padres. 50 games, 41 starts, and he's hit well.
Calls that fastball back. Well, Morse with the Washington Nationals in the National League, then in this division, the Giants last year.
Saw him a lot last year.
He did some damage as a Giant. Marlins are hopeful that the next 2 months that Morse's bat will perk up. Bohr and Prado on the corners. And a swing and a miss. 92-mile-an-hour fastball. Morse strikes out. And the Marlins leave a pair underway in San Diego. to hit. Marlins and Padres in the bottom of the first. San Diego's lineup is brought to you by JM Lexus. And here it is. There's Will Venable. Young Hervis Solarte. The switch hitting third baseman. Matt Kemp's in right. Justin Upton's in left. Yonder Alonso, who hit a long home run last night. Derek Norris. Jed Jerko's at second. Clint Varmus at short. And Ian Kennedy hits ninth. David Phelps. And his first pitch to Will Venable is in.
Making his first ever appearance against the San Diego Padres. And we've seen David work mostly as a starter this year. Just getting ready to tell you, he feels his position very well, too.
So an out defense behind him.
Well, we know he can pick the defense, brought to you by BMW. Michael Morris in the lineup tonight, so he's in left field. Christian Yelich moves over to center. Cole Gillespie, the right fielder. Derek Dietrich is in there. Justin Bohr at the other corner. Echeverria Prado up the middle. Real Muto behind the plate.
Now Solarte, the 28-year-old Venezuelan. Last year with the New York Yankees and the Padres. Came from the Yankees in the Chase Headley trade. Spent parts of 8 years in the minor leagues. And he redirects that fastball right back up the box into center field.
So a former teammate of David Phelps, Solarte, bangs that base hit right back at him. Got the pitch up. Remember, we were showing you the home run that Kemp hit last night. Dan Herron talked about it. Just lost his focus, left the pitch up, wasn't happy with it. And you do that to a hot hitter like Kemp, and he took advantage of it.
Takes some quick hands to get through and hit that ball that's up and in like that. Now Kemp, whose home run was to center, one of 3 hit last night, all solo shots. Last dozen games, he's been a hot hitter, the hottest for the Padres. At 386, 5 homers. You see he's slugging at 415. That's a strike. Tom Hallion calling it a strike, even though JT Realmuto did not catch the ball.
And it was there.
Fox tracks at the knees. Oh, well, this is good to see. Giancarlo Stanton in the dugout. Did not see him during batting practice.
Did not. No, I had heard that there was a sighting, but I had not seen him. So good to see Big G. You know, when the Padres went back-to-back last night, it was the first time since they had done that, gone back-to-back since 2 years ago in July. I think last night I said 2014, but 2013 in July was the last time they'd gone back-to-back with home runs.
I think a lot of people expected that sooner rather than later this year with the addition of Justin Upton and Matt Kemp. Will Myers, bouncer off the glove of Dietrich, and it's into left field. Morse picks it up. Solarte stops at second. Kemp has a hit, and here comes Justin Upton.
Good top spin. That ball skipped by Dietrich, who may have just gotten a piece of it, but Kemp gets the base hit. You know what's amazing? We saw the shot of Giancarlo. He's still tied for the league lead in home runs, tied with Bryce Harper. They each have 27, and he's third in the league in RBIs. Goldschmidt with 73. Nolan Arenado, terrific year with Colorado, is at 72, and Stanton at 67.
Well, now that he's here, we can get a first-person update on how he feels and how his progress is going, and hopefully have that for you on the telecast tomorrow night or Marlins Live postgame. Even better, even faster, in and out.
And that's a good term here in California.
Yes, it is. Solarte at second, Kemp's at first. And Phelps catches the outside part. 0-2. David Phelps been a valuable asset for the Fish in that he was able to pitch in the pen and in the rotation. Last time out, 3 runs in Phoenix in a 3-1 loss. That was in 5 2/3 innings. Smack to center. Yelich on a hop. Holding third is Solarte. The throw hits the mound and pops up, but Solarte had already stopped. And the Padres go back to back to back with singles here to load them up for Yonder Alonso.
Well, we've talked about how Yonder Alonso against the Miami Marlins has been absolutely tough. 20 games in his career against the Fish, 365, 3 home runs, and 15 RBIs.
And even Yasmani Grandal was like that when he was a Padre. Both those guys, University of Miami products, had big games at Miami's expense. And Alonso digs in and takes outside. And last night, he had the longest of the home runs.
Yeah, the 2 lefties that hit booming shots, Alonso and Brett Wallace.
Phelps gets a strike. Derek Norris is on deck. 4 hitters in to this first inning. And David Phelps faced with bags loaded and 1 out. For a Padre team that's actually won 6 of the last 9. To bring themselves 7 under.
Alonso spent a little time this year on the disabled list. Had a right shoulder injury.
Staying healthy has been an issue. And sure, a frustration. That's a strike.
Good changeup.
A wrist injury last year, just 84 games. A hand injury in 2013. And fastball in.
See if he has the confidence in that changeup again. He threw a real good one for strike 2. Missed with a fastball in.
The Saturday evening crowd, an early start. Big concert in the park right beyond center field afterwards. Right now, under Alonso trying to get the party started. It's Nelly in concert later tonight. Infield is shifted around to the right side. Echeverria, see his hat right in the picture. There's the change. And it's popped foul. Wasn't a great location.
It's a pitch that you know, even if you get it in the strike zone, you might have success with it because most hitters aren't going to be thinking that. Well out of the zone, but Alonso fouled it off.
1 career grand slam. Field and deep. Yelich back at the track. Yelich got it. Hits the wall. Everybody tags. Solarte scores. Kemp gets to third. Holding first is Upton. The Padres have a 1-0 lead. But Christian Yelich did a nice job of getting to the wall and making the play.
Another off-speed pitch. Looked like the change-up again. And Alonso with a solid swing. Well, let's see. 395 feet away was this ball. Great concentration by Yelich. Remember, he moved over from left field to center. He's been in center a few times this year. Appreciated by David Phelps. Going from second to third on that was Matt Kemp.
And I'm sure there were a few exhales in Miami's dugout Now Norris, the right-handed hitting catcher. Phelps gets a strike in there. If Phelps didn't get out of this with just the one run, I feel good about it, because it certainly, with that ball off the bat, looked like it could be a lot worse.
Kind of helps your psyche a little bit if he's able to do that and get out of this inning, allowing just the one.
Tom Hallion calls it a strike. And he just got the black. It's a strike. A run allowed here. Can he keep it at just one?
You know, when you think about it, these two pitchers tonight, Ian Kennedy and David Phelps, very similar in their approaches and in their stuff.
Well, maybe it's because they were both Yankee draft picks. Phelps was a 14th rounder in 08. Kennedy was the 21st overall in 06.
Kind of matched them up. They never hooked up together as teammates in the minor leagues coming up in the Yankee organization.
Is that like the 5 degrees of Kevin Bacon?
Yeah. Actually, they each matched up with Kevin Bacon at some place.
Or is it? I mean, it must be 6 degrees, I think. I'm not sure.
6 degrees.
Got him. So Phelps does limit the damage to just the one run on 3 hits. 1-0 San Diego. Copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the Marlins may not be reproduced or retransmitted. Any form, counts, and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Miami Marlins. Derek Dietrich, JT Realmuto, and Adeiny Echeverria in the second. Dietrich getting the start at third base. He had a pinch hitting appearance in the 7th and was hit by a pitch.
Tom Hallion has a very simple strike call. It's more of a ah. And of course, this strike 3 call is our favorite.
It goes all out. Crew chief.
If you were to name his strike 3 call, would it be the lawnmower? He's not around the strike zone right now, so
I think he gets it going before he sees where it is, because he's had a couple like that. They really have a shift on. I don't think we've seen one this drastic with Derek Dietrich, the hitter, the third baseman. Solarte well over. He's at the shortstop position.
It's always interesting to watch shifts against younger players when they first appear.
Surprises me, especially against teams you don't see that often.
No strike call from Tom Hallion. It's 3-2. Dietrich walks. You know what? You look at Derek Dietrich's numbers. A 301 average, an on base of over 380 now, slugging at 548. He really has had a nice year, and he's not been an everyday player, and that's hard for a young player to put numbers up like that in that role.
We've talked about how his last 4 pinch hit appearances, he has 3 hits. And I think what you're seeing is a young player who he got his feet wet a little bit last year, and how he has learned from that, started to settle in a little bit.
JT Realmuto swings and misses. One area that I think everybody knows the Marlins have struggled in is scoring runs. And if you try to dissect and examine why that is, one thing that jumps out is the on-base percentage. The Marlins at 307 as a team on-base percentage. That's why when a young player like Dietrich shows signs of being able to get on base along the lines of a Christian Yelich, it's very encouraging. League average on base is 314. That's the average team in the National League. Pulled to third, Solarte, Jerko. That's a double play.
The pick by Solarte, and then Jerko has to hang in there. He knows he's going to get a hard slide from Dietrich. He does, but he hung in there nicely and made a strong throw.
Danny Echeverria. That's another strike. Nick Kennedy out in front of Echeverria. Our camera person spent all day climbing up onto that light tower just to get one shot. Just a 10-second snippet. That's held by Norris. And Kennedy is through the second. Miami trailing 1-0.
tonight for the Padres. Well, we saw Giancarlo Stanton in the dugout. That is a good sign. How about an update on D. Gordon and Henderson Alvarez? Some good news for D. He has been working on strengthening that dislocated left thumb. He finally feels good enough to make a rehab start. That's going to take place tomorrow in Jupiter. If it goes well, he could be back with the Marlins as soon as Tuesday. Unfortunately for Henderson Alvarez, however, he is going to visit Dr. James Andrews next week and see if he needs surgery to repair his shoulder. But guys, exciting to think about the fact that in a week, the Marlins could have both Giancarlo Stanton and D. Gordon back in their dugout.
Absolutely. That'll be a real boost to the offense, you would expect. Stanton and Casey McGee chatting it up. Stanton always has good numbers in California, whether it's San Diego, Los Angeles, the San Francisco Bay Area.
Yeah, just go up and down the coast.
David Phelps in the second. Jed Jerko, Clint Barmas, and Ian Kennedy.
Well, Phelps wants to keep that pitch count down. 25 pitches it took him to get through that first inning.
Jerko fouls it into the seats. The count is 2-2. Jed Jerko had a great year 2 years ago. Earned himself a nice contract, especially for a guy with just 1 year in. And promptly face planted last year and has struggled this year. West Virginia product.
I think it's a good example of a young player, and Jerko's still young. He's just 26. But he had that one good year in the major leagues. His lifetime average in the minor leagues was .321, so he always hit there. And so the struggles last year and even 2013 with the batting average were there. Struggles that he'd never gone through in the minor leagues.
First out of the second. Half price Tuesdays, and of course the Nationals are coming up. And on that Tuesday, maybe you'll see D. Gordon and the Nationals all at once, 7-10. And you get half price Lexus Legends Platinum tickets. Great discounts on tickets in several other categories. Go to Marlins.com. And by the way, Jose's pitching. Jose Fernandez will start. Right now, Jordan Zimmerman is lined up. That should be a great pitching matchup on Tuesday. Here is Barmas. Chopper. Dietrich goes up to get it and then throws him out. Nice play by Derek Dietrich.
You get a reputation when you first get to the big leagues, and Derek Dietrich struggled last year mostly at second base. I think he's put in a lot of work, certainly with Perry Hill, and I think you can see gradual improvement in his defense. Nice play there.
I think a lot of the defensive struggles last year go back to the ball that hit him in the face at the end of spring training.
Spring training, yeah.
I don't care if you're a young player or an old player. You go through an injury like that, and there is an impact. Here's Ian Kennedy. Line into right center field. It's a hit. Gillespie won't get it. It gets to the wall. And Kennedy pulls in with a double. Just his third hit of the season.
Yeah, two of those hits now have been doubles. So just trying to get the ball over. Have a 1-2-3 inning. David Phelps got a fastball there for Kennedy. He found that gap at right center.
Kennedy and Prado teammates in Arizona. Venable up the middle into center field. That's a base hit. And the Padres, from the bottom and the top of their order, get a 2-out run.
Boy, that's one that really stings. Because with 2 out, it looked like Phelps had an opportunity to get through the inning quickly, get the pitcher out of the way. Kennedy doubles. All of a sudden, Will Venable with a single, and the Padres had another run. Remember, Venable tapped one back to the mound his first at bat Hit that one up the middle again, but got it past Phelps, got it past Prado.
So Kennedy has to be feeling pretty good about helping himself to a 2-0 lead. Venable's a threat to run. He's stolen 7 bases. Solarte singled in the first. Prado gets the out, but the Padres get a run, and San Diego, after 2, has a 2-0 lead. Go behind the scenes on social media with Fox Sports Florida and your favorite telecast all season long on Instagram and Twitter at Fox Marlins. The scene here in San Diego is quite spectacular. Sunshine still dancing around in right field. You see the first base and right field corner stands awash in sunshine. 6:21 local time here in San Diego. And for the hitters now, at least the entire mound is covered in shadows. That was not the case to start the night.
Yeah, it makes it, I think, a little easier. You have the batter's eye. Everything is similar as you look out and try to pick up Kennedy's offerings.
David Phelps takes a strike. Padres have a single run in both the first and the second against Phelps.
You go back the last few years, last 16 games that the Marlins have played here at Petco Park. Padres are 11-5, and their starters have really been terrific. Their starters during that time have gone 10-2. with an ERA a little over 2.
Someone will give us an inside and some insight on the Padres pitching. Clay Hensley, former Marlin, will join us in the 4th. We spotted him yesterday, dapper, down in his little Clay Hensley studio.
Yeah, and I saw him before the game tonight. He certainly has us out dappered.
Really?
Yeah, he's looking sharp tonight.
We got to find out who he's consulting with, because I don't remember him dazzling on the team flights 4 or 5 years ago. There's got to be a consultant involved,
Yeah,
right?
I would think so.
A wardrobe consultant. Swing and a miss. Down goes Phelps. Cole Gillespie comes up now. Lexus Pembroke Pines. Upcoming schedule. Tomorrow it's the Padres. A 3:30 start for Marlins Live. Washington Nationals Tuesday through Thursday. Now Thursday the game is not on television. Padres are in, Mets are in. And then it's on to the road again to face Atlanta. So a really nice homestand coming up. Nationals, Padres, and Mets. And a strike to Gillespie.
Boy, the Mets put on their hitting shoes today. A 13-2 lead in the 6th inning against the Dodgers. The Mets have 19 base hits.
Washington is on top of Pittsburgh right now, 5-3. That's a 3-game lead in the East for the Nationals over the Mets. And we talked yesterday about the acquisition that the Mets made, not earth-shaking. Towards the line, Jerko makes the catch. In fact, it sounds like the Mets have been kicking the tire on Justin Upton here in San Diego. Here are the new Mets coming from Atlanta.
Well, Uribe not in the lineup, but Kelly Johnson has a couple of hits. One of those a home run today. But the guys who have been outstanding, Michael Conforto, making his second major league start, has a 4-hit game. Kirk Neuenhuis has a 4-hit game. And the recipient of all that on the mound, Matt Harvey.
Martin Prado takes a strike with 2 outs and nobody aboard in the 3rd. Yeah, one of the reports, I believe it was John Heyman on CBSSports.com, saying that the Mets felt the asking price for Justin Upton was a little too steep. Of course, you know any general manager is going to ask about starting pitching for the Mets, their young starters.
Yeah, I think if you talked to Met fans, they would say they're pleased with Kelly Johnson, Juan Uribe, certainly a couple of veterans, but they'd like a little more.
Prado to right. Kemp in the sun makes the catch. 1-2-3 for the Marlins in the 3rd. 2-0 San Diego.
Wednesday, Nationals Marlins at 7:10. Chevron Crazy 8 night. Bring your Chevron receipt of 8 gallons of gas or more. The Marlins Park ticket office. Get your choice of an $18 Lexus Legends level ticket or a $28 home plate box ticket. Right now, the Marlins having trouble scoring runs against these Padres. David Phelps has given up a run in the first, a run in the second. Second time through for Matt Kemp, Justin Upton, and Yonder Alonso. And Kemp takes away. The Padres in the offseason tried to change the cycle, and you touched upon it last half inning, of really good pitching and not much offense. And they felt with Kemp and Upton, Will Myers, Will Middlebrooks.
The thing about some of those deals, especially the Will Myers one, is people were scratching their head wondering where he'd play. Right now he's on the disabled list, so he's not playing.
I think people thought the same about Will Myers, especially after they had acquired Kemp and Upton. Pat Murphy, the interim manager for the departed Bud Black.
They don't have that pure leadoff man, which, boy, we have grown to appreciate watching D. Gordon this year and what he has been able to do. They were actually, and he did a little bit, this was before Pat Murphy hit Will Myers in the leadoff spot.
Derek Norris, one of the additions as well.
That's why you look back at what has happened to the Marlins to this point. But you look at some of the pieces, and the Marlins have what a lot of clubs want. They have a tremendous power bat in Giancarlo. They have a leadoff man in D. Gordon.
Which makes the year all the more frustrating.
Yes.
They have a Christian Yelich who, though he battled through a sore lower back, has emerged back to be his type of guy. They've got a shortstop that just keeps taking a step forward every year he's in the big leagues.
Great learning experience this year for JT Realmuto behind the plate.
And Phelps walks Matt Kemp. I think one thing you would hope for the Marlins before you even start to talk about 2016 is that the ball club can figure out how to win in the next 2 months, in August and September, and at least get this young core to know what it feels like to win headed towards 2016. Obviously that's the goal, and the likelihood of that happening is much better with a healthy Stanton and Gordon. And here is Upton, Justin Upton.
You know, Matt Kemp over at first base has 8 steals. He's 8 out of 9. There was a time that he would have between 30, 40 stolen bases. He had 41 year. But with all the injuries, hamstring problems, hip issues, shoulder problems, it really limited his base run.
Boy, and all those issues and concerns are, I guess, multiplied by the fact that his contract runs through 2019, and there's $86 million left on it after this year. He's at first, and right now Phelps can't find the plate. He walked Kemp. He's 3-0 on Justin Upton. And he went after it and pops it up. And that is a nice break for the Fish. And Chavarria makes the catch. An out here in the third. Tonight's Cold Hard Fact brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light. The
David Phelps' 107th Major League game is first against the Padres. The only team he's not faced is the team he's pitching for. Never faced him as a Yankee. Now Alonso, who nearly hit a grand slam back in the first. He sent Yelich to the wall. Kemp is running, and it's fouled at the plate. Kemp will pick up his helmet and head back to first.
Well, as I said, he doesn't run as much as he used to, but he's still 8 out of 9 this year, so he picks his spots. Matt Kemp now 30 years old.
Would you rather, as a hitter, know that he's running or just take a rip at the pitch regardless of if he's running? Because it's tough for a lefty bat.
A lot of it depends on the hitter. I think if you're Alonso, it doesn't really matter, because if you see it, you're not going to do like a Martin Prado and take a pitch and let him steal. If you're in this situation and the kind of hitter Alonso is, you're probably going to swing if you get a good pitch to hit.
Kemp, 9 years at Dodgers, his 10th year in the big leagues.
And I would guess, Rich, a guy like Kemp probably has a green light and goes when he thinks he can.
They should put that in his baseball reference bio. Has the green light.
Green light, yes. See how many players have that.
And you can update the status. You know, managers can just swipe one way or the other. Green light, not green light. Tom Hallion rings up Alonso. He's not happy, and those two go nose to nose. It's not been a good day for Hallion. He's been out of the strike zone a lot. We'll take a look at this one. That's a strike.
And that one was in the zone. That ball has really nice movement. Good two-seamer. Started off the plate in, moved back, and had the plate. And when Alonso goes back and looks at that, he'll see that.
So there's 2 outs, and here's Derek Norris. On the ground, Dietrich shuffles it off to second in time. Clay Hensley will join us when we return. 2-0 San Diego on top. On his set, all spiffed out, Clay Hensley.
How you doing? How you doing here?
Good to see you,
Trying to
buddy.
get that one out.
That's all right.
How's it going?
Good. Former Marlin right-hander,
Yeah.
former Padre, former Giant.
I know. I'm working coast to coast right now. You know, like starting here, working on the West Coast, and now I'm on the East Coast. You know, double dipping.
Very nice. Very nice. Christian Yelich in the box. And so far, Ian Kennedy has been really good. A breaking ball for a strike. Yelich, Bohr, and Michael Morse.
Clay, we've talked about these two pitchers in some aspects similar,
Right.
Kennedy and Phelps, and watching the way they work.
Yeah. You know, the thing is that they have some of the similar like pitching deliveries as far as throwing the fastball and stuff, trying to pound the zone a little bit. From what I've kind of done a little research on Phelps, is he's kind of more of a command guy, kind of like Kennedy is. You know, not super overpowering with the fastball. But, you know, it seems like he's kind of struggled with some command as of late, right?
He has tonight. I mean, for Phelps, he's had stretches where he's been really consistent. And tonight, he's just had trouble finding the zone. Yelich bounces one out to second. And Jerko flips it to first. All right, before we get on to your days of Marlins past, give us a temperature of this San Diego team. They tried to change the culture somewhat and add offense in the offseason. Why hasn't everything clicked this year?
It's just, from what I've seen so far this year, it's just things aren't firing on all cylinders right now. It's like they've come out and they've had a big offensive night, and then they'll come out the next night and the bats will be a little flat, and then you'll have the pitching that'll be pretty stellar, and they just won't score runs for them. So I think the biggest struggle and the things they're trying to get together right now as a club is to get everything going at the same time.
Justin Bohr. And he takes a breaking ball in.
And how did you get interested, and how did you get involved in their telecasts?
So they have like a Twitter feed that if you sign up for Twitter and you hashtag Padres, they may give you a chance at the. Well, I don't know if you guys remember this, but you know I did a little bit of stuff for Fox when I was with you guys down there in Florida, and actually that same year in 2010 I did a little guest analyst work on MLB Tonight with Vescursion. And, you know, kind of along the way, they'd asked if I'd be interested in doing something like this.
And here you are.
And here we are. You know, I mean, so I retired from baseball last year. You know, pretty thankful for how things shook down for me personally, you know, on a career level.
I mean, you really had a nice career. I know it wasn't as long as you wanted, but you pitched on some really good teams and had some success.
Well, look, I'm 4'2". I was pretty happy to pitch, you know, period. So just to be out there.
Hey, you fit right in up here.
I'm a tall guy here. I kind of like it. No, but it was great. You know, it was one of those things. I ended up hurting my elbow with Washington in 2014, and needed to get the surgery done, and it kind of took a little time to reflect on that. And, you know, I opted not to do it. I was looking at it. I was going to have Tommy John. I'd end up coming back at 37 years old around there, having to make a club. And, you know, my kids are starting school. And, you know, I just kind of sat there with more of a glass full kind of attitude and was very thankful for how things worked out. You know, I mean.
Justin Bohr strikes out.
You kind of relate to David Phelps, who did and does a little bit of both, starting and relieving, because you did the same thing.
Yeah. Actually, we were just discussing this earlier whenever we were kind of talking about Phelps. And it was funny because me and Badenhoff back in the day used to have these conversations. And I always kind of felt like it was an undervalued situation. I mean, you have a guy out there, you know, that, you know, doesn't have a, you know, set role in the bullpen, so to speak. He's not a setup guy or a closer. But he has the ability to go out there and start games, and that, to me, that's value. And you know, I can relate with that as well. You know, just like you said, being able to come out of the bullpen and start. You know, it's a valuable thing, especially if you have a guy that's, you know, does both well, and you know, he can get you out of jams if somebody goes down with an injury, or if somebody's sick one day, you can always turn to somebody.
Morse hits a fly ball to right.
We just like the Hopper reference.
The Hopper,
we just saw him. He's with Cincinnati.
Yeah, still doing it.
Yeah,
you know. Yeah, he's still doing it. Still doing the shoulder and twitches, and you know, doing the little stomp around the mound, being Hopper. But
still getting ground balls.
Tons of ground balls, you know, and that's why he's still there. And he's a beauty. He was a great teammate, great guy to play with, and you know, it was always fun to sit there and go back and forth with him during the games in Miami.
0-2 to Michael Morse. 2-0 Padres. And a fastball up and in. Next half inning, we'll get into your Marlin career. You had 2 years with the Fish, including maybe your finest year in the big leagues, 2010.
Yeah, it was fun.
1-2 from Kennedy. And Morse lines it into center field. All right, now it gives us entree into that 2010 season. You were 3-4. You made 68 appearances, and your earned run average was a slender 2.16. What was that year like? What
Are
do
you
you
sure
remember?
you got the right name in the stats there? Because I don't know if I ever had a 2. You know.
There it is.
Yeah. No, I smoke and mirrors that year. I guess I pulled up pretty good, but it was great. I had a great time in Miami. Funny story. First game you guys got here, made me think about the time that I had there. And me and Ugla and Ross were all tight. So I left the stadium that day after the first game and called Dan. And we had a long conversation about our time in Miami. And we both were like, was there a better time that we had, just playing together? I mean,
there were some good players all together there.
Yeah,
young players.
We would have liked to have won more games, no doubt. But, that's the thing. It's, when it's a club and, you may be losing one particular season, the nice thing about that locker room is we had a pretty tight cohesiveness. And it was great. Some of the best memories I have in baseball were definitely in Miami.
Derek Dietrich right now. Michael Morse, a line drive single. He's at first.
See, we're going to relay that to Ugla because we'll see him when the Nationals come to town. When the Marlins go home, they play the Nationals, so we'll see Uggs.
Yeah, so I talked to Ugla quite a bit. We still he's probably like my best friend that I never get to see. He's a beauty, and he's over there in Washington, and probably like to get a little more playing time, but he's still happy to be there and have the opportunity.
2-0 pitch is fouled back and out of play. Well, you had a terrific starting pitching in that group, Josh Johnson. And unfortunately, Josh's second Tommy John surgery. He's rehabbing here with the Padres.
How unbelievable was he when he was healthy, though, right? I mean, it was. I keep telling some of the people here that haven't really had a chance to see Josh Johnson go out there and pitch, and man, it is when he's healthy, he's definitely one of the best in the game.
And Dietrich flips that one, fouling out of play. One of the best pitch games I've ever seen was the Roy Halladay perfect game because JJ was darn near perfect on the other side. Remember Cameron Maben made an error in center field that allowed the only run of the game. It was a perfect game for Roy Halladay.
Well, that was a duo going at it, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's quite an office you've got here as we look at Petco Park.
Yeah, it's not bad. Pretty even thermostat all year round. A little humid right now. I think you guys brought some of that humidity with you.
A little bit. It's funny when you hear people
complain about humidity.
The humidity. Want to tell them to go back to South Florida right now.
Oh, I loved it out there, though. It was a blast, man. It's a great city.
You had a chance in 2012 when you finished your big league career with San Francisco Giants. Made 60 appearances with a very special team in San Francisco.
Yeah, that was a special year, man. I was having a good season for most of the season, and I think about probably August is when my elbow started kind of crapping out on me, for lack of a better term there. But it was great. It was right there's kind of proof in the pudding of what it means when you have a good locker room.
Dietrich swings and misses. All right, you want to hang around another half inning?
Oh, I'm good, man.
All right, cool. Clay Hensley, when we return, it's 2-0 San Diego. Mix and match our famous Big Buford and Big Chicken Deluxe. Get 2 for $5. Checkers. It's in the bag by Subaru of Pembroke Pines. Price, service, selection. You're going to love us. And by the Florida Department of Transportation, to remind you, drive sober or get pulled over. Live shot looking down on Petco Park. The many rooftops and office buildings. Clay Hensley joins us again. Now, look, it's you. I don't remember on the team flights you sporting the wardrobe that you had last night. A gorgeous powder blue tie with a
summer
spread
suit.
collar, white. Very nice.
Yeah, my wife dresses me.
That's where we were going.
I was wondering if you were trying to outdo Mark Grant.
That's a tough one to outdo. I think he might have tore his pants yesterday, though, doing that standing on the desk there. I was kind of getting worried about him.
There he is with Jesse Agler, Mark Grant, analyst for the Padres. Jerko on a broken bat. Now, what's your role on Padres television? What have they had you do so far?
Yeah, so I'm doing the pre and post game show with Pomeranz, and it's been great. You know, it's nice. It's a perfect situation for me because I'm pretty busy with some other ventures that I have going off the field here in San Diego, and they came to me in November and asked me if I'd be interested in possibly doing some work with them. And it's a part-time role, you know, maybe 30, 40 games somewhere around there whenever they need somebody to fill in. And it's good because I don't have to travel with the club. You know, I get to stay home with the kids, and you know, we film in studio when they're on the road, so it's a pretty good bounce for me.
Here's Clint Barmas. Is this the first time you've been in a booth in a game with a headset on?
If you can't tell, yeah.
Well, this is the easy part. This is the easy part.
Well, let's put you to work then.
No, I will. I was saying this to Pomeranz today. I tell you what. I have a newfound respect for what you guys do because it's not easy, and it's definitely a little bit of a learning curve, and I have a lot of respect for what these guys do up here.
Now you can see our view from up here, from behind us, looking out into downtown San Diego. It's such a gorgeous ballpark. I try to tell people, how you doing? All of those buildings, when they first built this place, they were not here.
Nothing was here. Yeah, I remember it. I was actually in A-ball. And my mom and I drove down here from Lake Elsinore, and the stadium was still being built. And we were actually outside the center field wall, and like you said, there was nothing out here. And I told Mom, I said, I'm going to play in that stadium one day. And 2 years later, we were here.
I saw a shot today. Someone had a kind of like a placard, and it was cut in half, and the top half was this area 10 years ago.
Really? Oh, yeah.
I
think I've seen that picture.
And the bottom half was Petco and all the surrounding buildings. Just incredible.
Yeah, I mean, they're throwing them up like crazy over here. I haven't been downtown very much until this year, coming down here and doing the games. And, it's like you come down here every other year, there's a new 2 or 3 new buildings.
David Phelps working on Clint Barmas. There were a lot of fans in Miami that saw you last night because we were showing you down in your little office in the first base line into right field. And immediately Twitter lit up with show Clay Hensley and the praying mantis in Washington. This was a big night here in Marlins history.
Hey, the rally mantis, man. Yeah. And you know, what was it, Logan Morrison?
Wait, now he walks all the way down the rail.
Yeah, it was, man, they're huge out there that time of year.
There's Eduardo, Anibal. And now this is when he took a liking to Lomo.
So tough, isn't he?
Lomo panic.
This is the guy, too, that stares you down if you throw inside on him. I needed to come up with the Mantis pitch when I was facing Logan.
Yes, Mickey Mantis, I think, was the appropriately named bug. Ian Kennedy is up with 2 outs here in the 4th. We're visiting with Clay Hensley, now a member of the Fox Sports Arizona broadcast team, former Marlin, former Padre for 4 seasons, and he finished his career with the Giants. The 1-1. And it's out.
I will say this, though, coming down to the games now, doing these Fox games, I'm having a great time. It's been a blast, but it's nice because you can kind of leave the stadium with no stress. You know, it's like
it's different. It's a different feeling.
Yeah, we want to win every ball game, but it's like if we lose, I can drive home and be not the one that gave it up.
That's true. Little tapper, Phelps, and he throws it over Bohr's head. Kennedy makes a turn and will get back to first base.
I think he had more time than he thought because Kennedy didn't want to bust it up the line. And when Phelps gets over, he has time and just airmailed it over Justin Bohr's head. But the bottom line, I think he had more time than he thought.
And he knew it. It'll go as an error, E1. And top of the order, Will Venable now. As you see the game from the booth, and you're a year removed, anything you've noticed or picked up that you didn't see from the field?
It's a lot easier up here. No, I mean, it's actually it's fun to watch because, you know, when you're out there pitching on the mound, you're so focused on the catcher. There's just so many moving parts that are going on.
Do you watch a pitcher and try to work with him and see, okay, it's a good time for a slider, or maybe change up here?
Yeah, you know, and that's another thing too, is like from this vantage point, you really can tell what guys are doing as far as, you know, if they're hanging the slider or leaving stuff over the plate or getting beat by certain pitches or putting guys away with certain pitches.
Who'd you like throwing to, catcher-wise? All the teams, all the different teams.
Well, in San Diego, Livan Hernandez was catching when I was a rookie, and man, he was really good behind the plate. Called a really good game. It was, you know, a couple things. Obviously, being a rookie, you never wanted to shake him off. But second thing, I mean, you had full confidence in him, and he was great behind the wrist. Great target, good receiver, and yeah, he was a lot of fun to throw to. It was interesting throwing to Mike Piazza. You know, I mean, I grew up watching Piazza, and then to have him as my catcher and play alongside with guys like Greg Maddux and, you know, Trevor Hoffman, Woody Williams, those guys. It was I had a really good experience here coming up as a rookie because it was a pretty veteran team, but it was a veteran team with a bunch of solid guys. I mean, a couple of those guys are Hall of Famers now, and, you know, even with David Wells also. I mean, you can't help but learn something.
Swing and a miss. Down goes Venable. Clay Hensley, thanks for stopping by.
Hey, that was
it's
a lot
really
of fun.
good to see you.
Good to see you guys. Thank you so much.
Glad you're in the game and glad you're up here with us.
I appreciate that, man. It's been a lot of fun.
All right, Clay Hensley, one of the good guys in Marlins history. 2-0 Padres. Time now for our Geico date in Marlins history. Marlins Giants 9-3. Marlins hit 4 triples. Look at that. Russ Morman had a triple. Steve Decker had a triple. Greg Colburn and Kurt Abbott's.
We've seen Kurt Abbott's name a lot coming up on some of our Marlins moments.
Yes.
Nothing wrong with that. Good to see Abby's name up there.
Well, right now, Miami has just 3 hits and has not scored a run. JT Realmuto, Danny Echeverria, and then the pitcher spot.
I think the number that stands out to me in Ian Kennedy's line is the number of strikeouts. 6 strikeouts through the first 4 innings.
There's a strike. The road trip and this series end tomorrow. South Florida Honda dealers get you ready for Padres and Marlins with Marlins Live pregame. Letos de España. Slow tapper, third base. Solarte gets the out. And there's 1 out here in the 5th.
And Hervé Solarte's made a couple of nice plays. He started a double play with a good feed and a little off balance there across his body with a good throw. He knew that Realmuto, they've seen him go up the line this series. He knew he had to hustle because of JT's speed.
Now Echeverria, who struck out back in the 2nd. And he lifts one to right. Kemp is there. And 2 quick outs for Ian Kennedy here in the 5th. And David Phelps will take the at bat. We were talking about the teams in the division for the Fish in this National League East. The Nationals leaders by 3 games. They have a 9-3 lead over the Pirates. That's now in the 9th. Looks like the Mets will finish off the Dodgers 15-2 in the top of the 8th in New York. We told you earlier about Cole Hamels and his no-hitter as he no-hit the Cubs at Wrigley.
129 pitches for Hamels.
In late July to no-hit the Cubs at Wrigley.
Yeah, and against a team that the Cubs have been one of the teams rumored to be interested in Cole Hamels.
Phelps takes a strike, and the Braves out-hit the Cardinals 7-2, but lost 1-0. Carlos Martinez gets the win for St. Louis. He's 11-4 with a 2.34 ERA. David Phelps into center field.
Yeah, I think the last time the Cubs were no-hit was in 1965, and it was a Sandy Koufax perfect game. And the last Cub no-hitter at Wrigley Field was Milt Pappas, 1972.
Did you get called up for that game?
65? No, but I was there because it was after my first year in A-ball, and I had gone back to Los Angeles, and I had gotten tickets to go to that game. And Bob Henley for the Cubs threw a one-hitter. He was a left-hander. He threw a one-hitter. Koufax threw a perfect game, the 1-0 score. I think it was a double. It got a runner over to third and scored on a ground ball out.
Cole Gillespie pops it foul, and Ian Kennedy evens the count at a ball and a strike. In the West, San Francisco beat Oakland 2-1. Madison Bumgarner homered again.
And pitched well again.
Yeah, he's 11-5 to get the win. Told you the Dodgers are losing big to the Mets. Gillespie up the middle, backhanded by Jerko, and he gets the out, flipping to Barmas. And the Marlins still coming up empty against Ian Kennedy.
Cubs, 8th inning, 1 out. Odubel Herrera holds on. It's still got a no-hitter. Into the 9th with 2 outs, a 3-2. Chris Bryant. Herrera to the track. Oh, he made the catch. He overran it, but makes the catch. And Cole Hamels, 129 pitches, 3rd most in his career. He walked 3. He struck out 13. And in 2 hours and 38 minutes, he no-hits the Cubs.
And Rich, for a moment, I thought Lonnie Smith, Skates, was playing center field for the Phillies today.
Here in this one, it's 2-0 Padres. This is such a great city and a great ballpark. Nelly will be here later on tonight. And Jessica Blaylock is somewhere. Where are you, Jess?
I am way up here by a massive scoreboard. And you mentioned Petco Park being a great park. Yeah, it's a great park for hitters, and that's because of this massive scoreboard above me. It actually blocks a lot of the wind that comes off the bay, so there's very little resistance to a well-hit ball. Petco Park has actually yielded the 5th highest number of home runs in Major League Baseball last season. And guys, we just saw it last night. The 3 runs scored by the Padres, they all came off of those solo home runs.
Yeah, there's a lot of theories as to why the ball's flying here in San Diego, or flying better. Jess, that scoreboard might be one reason. The new Sempra Energy building in center, maybe another. They moved the fences in again. And as we've talked about in all the West Coast cities, the dry summer, lack of that morning and evening cloud cover and moisture that comes in off the ocean.
Yeah, that early morning marine layer we haven't seen, and that usually kind of keeps the ball from going very far.
Now, one of the things they had to do, that is a 5-foot wall in left field. That's, you know, along with what, Fenway or the corners at Dodger Stadium, that's as low as you get in the big leagues. They actually moved the left field wall in a few seats as well. They had to rearrange things to add support for that giant scoreboard in left field. So that changed the dimensions in left field after they moved the fences in after 2013. Matt Kemp now.
Well, we talked about it last night down the right field line, that Petco porch. So there are a few little angles in this ballpark for corner outfielders, left fielders and right fielders. At times it isn't easy.
Still, to me, the Western Metal Supply Company is one of the coolest things in all of baseball to be incorporated into a ballpark. The fact that it's a building that's been there forever. The foul line is actually on the corner of the building. Top floor is like a banquet party hall.
And look at that, is packed on that 4th floor, the top floor.
And you've got suites on the other 3 levels. That one is over the head of Morse. Plays it on a hop. Kemp slow to get around first. The throw's going to beat him, and he's out. Michael Morse got off a good throw. Kemp thinks maybe he's safe. The Padres are going to look at it. Let's see if he got a hand in or not.
Boy, that's a great job by Michael Morse, who has been out there a lot. Plays that perfectly, and then comes up, and you know what? He doesn't try to overthrow it. He just came up, made a perfect one-hop throw to Martin Prado.
Well, he's not even running out of the box.
And you know, if for that, he should be out. I don't care what the replay says.
Well, he is out. There's no challenge. It goes as a single, and Morse throws out Kemp at second. And here's Upton. Justin Upton. We saw both Uptons in last night's lineup. Melvin was 1 for 3. Justin was 0 for 4. And I know that for Marlin fans, your first chance last night to see and hear Melvin Upton, since he went back to his original name. People think that he's changed his name. That's actually his real name.
Yeah, Melvin Upton Jr.
Just like Giancarlo. That one into center field. Yelich makes a catch. Nice inning. David Phelps. hits. Time now for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Hashtag it FLDataStrongFan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming telecast. And it's brought to you by T-Mobile. The throwback Padre jersey and cap. Here tonight, Ian Kennedy has been spectacular for the Padres. Not your Padres, Tommy Hutton, but the San Diego Padres. Kennedy last year was a .500 pitcher, but probably deserved better. Didn't have a lot of run support. Martin Prado, Christian Yelich, Justin Bour. Did you know, Tommy Hutton, that last year Ian Kennedy struck out 207 in 201 innings? Just the fourth Padre to strike out over 200. Jake Peavy, Kevin Brown, Clay Kirby in that group. Earlier on Marlins Live, Craig Minervini, Preston Wilson talked about Marcell Ozuna. And Ozuna hit a solo home run in the 9th inning, and he continues to swing it and progress. He's been down a little more than 2 weeks now. See the slugging percentage up at .977.
The other note in that ball game, Rich, Justin Nicolino, 8 innings pitched and allowed just 1 earned run.
Yelich cracks one to center. It's over the head of Venable, and it goes to the wall. Yelich digging and holding at second. Venable, usually a very good outfielder, but Yelich hit it right on the button. One misstep, and it costs Venable and the Padres 2 bases.
You hear it said so often that the center field, the ball that's right at you, is the toughest one. If you have the angle, you see the reaction of Ian Kennedy. He doesn't want to show up his center fielder, but misplayed by Will Venable, who usually is a pretty good outfielder. But that ball straight at you, it goes over your head 1 step and you're done if it's hit well, and Yelich hit it well.
So there's 1 out, and here's Bour, who was singled and struck out. But would it be something if the Marlins got D. Gordon back, a revamped and revitalized Marcell Ozuna back, and Giancarlo Stanton back within a week to 10 days? Bour hooks that one to right. Kemp is there, makes the catch. Now there are 2 outs now. Nationals and Marlins on a Thursday at Marlins Park. And, of course, it's a good day on Thursday for seniors, 55 and older. Get free tickets on Senior Free Ticket Thursday, presented by Wellmax Medical Centers. Campers, time for your summer camp to get to the game. It's Camp Day, presented by TD Bank. Remember when Camp Day was in the old football stadium? And it was Camp Day, but, man, those poor campers, by the time it got to about the 5th or the 6th inning, they were fried.
Boy, it was hydrate day.
Oh.
Much more comfortable now for Camp Day.
That's right. Camp Day much better. Michael Morris has struck out and singled. Well, Marlins have hit 2 balls hard here. The Yelich double, the Bour line drive out.
Yeah, 2 balls in a row hit very hard. The one by Yelich and the one by Bour.
Yelich 105 miles an hour off the bat.
And extends his on-base streak now, 24 consecutive games.
Brett Gardner was not in the lineup in that Yankee ball game.
They didn't need him. Alex Rodriguez, A-Rod, a 3-homer game in Minnesota. It's the 6th time in his career he's had a 3-homer game.
.30 pitch is taken for a strike. I don't know off the top of my head, but which team would you guess did he hit have as many of those 3-homer games playing for? Would it be Texas? Would it be Seattle? Would it be the Yankees?
I would guess Texas.
I would go Texas as well. Those were his biggest years in more ways than one. Morse, 352 average against the Padres. Tommy talked about all the success that he'd had here and against the Padres in his home ballpark. But that fastball gets by him, and Ian Kennedy escapes the sixth, leaving Yelich in second and holding on to that 2-0 lead. Family loyalty program secret code. It's not really a secret, but it is tonight's code. San Diego. Go to marlins.com/fishfamily and learn how you can get bonus points. And we always check in on that here on Fox Sports Florida. Marlins, Padres. David Phelps, his 5 innings of work, just 2 runs. Yonder Alonso. Sacrifice fly back in the first. And he zaps that one in the gap. Morse is over, and he makes the catch. So 1 pitch and 1 out. Derek Norris comes up.
You know, you look at the body of work of David Phelps tonight, things have really settled down for him. He gave up those 3 consecutive singles in the first inning. The Padres got a run, but a big strikeout of Norris kept things from getting worse. Since that first inning, giving up just 3 more base hits. The one that really hurt him was the double and the RBI base hit by Venable in the second. That came with 2 out.
Yeah, and that double was Ian Kennedy. Here now is Norris with 1 out.
We're getting clarification, Rich. Every once in a while, the crack staff just slips a little bit. 5 times for A-Rod, 3 homer games. 3 times with the Yankees. Once with the Rangers and once with the Mariners.
A strike to Norris, and it's 1-2. Hall of Fame weekend. Television voice of the Padres, Dick Enberg. Outside corner, Norris is not happy. And he and Tom Hallion have words.
That wasn't as emphatic as Tom Hallion can be. He may have had some question.
So you're saying it's an apprehensive call there? It's just out.
Maybe it's because it was the opposing catcher, and he's going to, he'll be next to Norris next inning, next half inning.
I'm sure they'll discuss that pitch. Jerko, breaking ball, sends it to center. Yelich under it, squeezes it. 7-pitch, 6th inning. Nice work by David Phelps. San Diego, just a gorgeous setting tonight. Another perfect night here in San Diego. Although Marlin fans are hopeful of a little more offense than this. A 2-0 Padre lead. Just 5 hits for the Fish. Ian Kennedy has been the big reason why. Kennedy gets Derek Dietrich, JT Realmuto, and Adeiny Echeverria. Dietrich has walked and struck out. A Letos Despagne matchup tomorrow. And then the Marlins head home, off day Monday. Jose Fernandez on Tuesday night for the Fish. And what looks like a Jordan Zimmerman start for the Nationals.
Yeah, Gio Gonzalez picked up the win for Washington in their game today against Pittsburgh.
But for whatever reason, Tom Hallion's had a lot of balls out of the zone that have become strikes. Which is odd. I mean, it used to be the old saying that maybe the umpires have a dinner reservation somewhere. But in this city, all the good restaurants are like 5 or 6 blocks from here. And it's an early start time, so... I mean, if it's a good restaurant, it's down here in this gas lamp.
You don't have to go far. All kinds of choices. There's the gas lamp area, gas lamp street. Just go right up there, 5th Avenue. There's a couple places over on 6th.
And this is right next to the ballpark. In fact, the Marlins team hotel this year is attached to the ballpark. There's a walkway from the Omni Hotel right into Petco Park. And there's a little dumbwaiter. You know those little things where you open it and you can pull up the meal? It goes right down to the Tin Fish, which is the, I guess, the headquarters for all fish taco fans. The Tin Fish right at the base of the Omni Hotel. Dietrich to right. It's deep and it's gone. Derek Dietrich, a solo shot. Miami's on the board. And it's 2-1.
Well, he just continues to show that he certainly belongs here and wants to get more playing time. Derek Dietrich, 5th home run of the year. Last 12 games now, he's hit close to 500. Not even sure if he hit this ball all that well, but it got out of here. Talked about that area down the right field line here at Petco. He knew it right away.
Yeah, the little skip.
Yeah.
Dietrich, who is slugging in the mid 500s right now. Now 5 home runs, 6 doubles. Here is Real Muto. And that's a home run that guy appreciates. Those two don't get to sit together much, do they?
No.
Stanton and Jose. Left center field. That one's deep. Upton at the track. He won't get it, and he slides. It kicks off of him. Real Muto around second. Arrives at third base. How about that? The Marlins go homer and triple to open up the 7th.
Very surprised that ball dropped. Certainly happy for Real Muto that he gets a triple. The Marlins get a runner at third, but that ball had a lot of hang time. You would expect this ball to be caught by somebody. Not a good route by Justin Upton in left field.
And Will Venable was shaded over into right center, the Padres center fielder. He had no shot at that ball. And that's it. Boy, Ian Kennedy, who sailed through 6, gives up a homer and a triple, and he's done. West Kendall Toyota called to the bullpen. Echeverria up, runner at third.
At a 2-1 lead for the Padres. JT Realmuto back in the lineup tonight after getting the day off yesterday. He told me that the most important thing about getting those off days is being able to refresh himself mentally, but it also helps to refresh himself physically. And Dan Jennings, he knows how important that is for Realmuto. When DJ took over as manager, he specifically told JT that he was going to build in extra off days for him so he could keep his young catcher fresh. And guys, it did not look like he was tired running the bases on that triple.
No, it's 5 triples to go with 15 doubles for Realmuto. Big at bat for Ed Chavarria against Brandon Maurer. Infield's in, pulls the ground ball to third. Solarte across the diamond, and that doesn't get it done. Realmuto still at third. Here comes Casey McGee, who will pinch hit in the pitcher's spot. There's a look at Maurer, acquired from Seattle in exchange for Seth Smith, the outfielder.
He's another guy whose name has been tossed around in different rumors as a right-handed pitcher out of the bullpen.
Here's McGee, and the Padres still have that infield in. So a big moment in the ball game. Miami trying to tie the score. Padres trying to choke off the run.
Last year, first half of the season, this was like money for Casey McGee every time he came up.
David Phelps hoping that the Marlins can knot it here. Off the end of the bat into center. Venable in, makes the catch. Realmuto tags, halfway, stops. And a good decision. A great throw by Venable.
Well, a couple of things there, too. You had the ball hit not that sharply. Venable got a really good jump and had all of his momentum coming to the plate. So as he catches this ball, here he is, momentum coming to the plate, and got off a perfect throw to Derek Norris.
So Cole Gillespie now, as the Marlins 0 for 2 with Realmuto at third. Gillespie's 0 for 3 tonight. Breaking ball popped up, first base side. Alonso and Norris. It's out of play. Ian Kennedy had a shutout going into this 7th. The home run by Dietrich. Realmuto tripled, but he's still at third with 2 outs. And that a run-saving block by Norris.
You know, Kennedy may have had a little more left. He'd thrown 97 pitches. But certainly Pat Murphy knows his pitching staff. He wanted to get a fresh arm in there in Maurer.
I think I heard someone in the crowd imitate Tom Hallion's strike 3 call, trying to buy the call. It's a count of 3-1. Chopper to third. Solarte. And Miami leaves that run at third base. The Marlins do get a run. Derek Dietrich, a leadoff homer, his 5th of the season. 2-1 Padres. Diego up 1. The Legends of Wrestling, presented by Modelo Especial, returns on Friday the 31st. Marlins and Padres at 7:10. Meet Mick Foley, Kevin Nash, the Nasty Boys, and more. Get the Wrestling Night package for just $25. And enjoy post-game fireworks presented by Sagicor Life Insurance.
Rich, we can get all the insight from Craig DeGeorge. Well, I mean Craig Minervini.
That's right.
Cole Gillespie, this is the changes the Marlins make. A different look in the outfield. Gillespie moves to center. Christian Yelich goes over to left. And coming into the game, Ichiro, he is in right field. And Sam Dyson takes the mound.
6 nice innings from David Phelps. He gave up 2 runs, but he's on the hook for the loss unless the Marlins come back and tie it here. Clint Barmas for the Padres. Pitcher's spot is up next, and then you've got Will Venable. Barmas pulls it foul. If you're just happening by in this one, the Padres got 1 run in the first. They nearly got 4. When Yonder Alonso, with the bags loaded, hit one to the base of the wall in center. It went as a sacrifice fly. Phelps got to the second, gave up another run in the second. A single by Will Venable after Ian Kennedy doubled with 2 outs. But after that, Phelps did not give up a run, and Dyson gives up a hit to open up the bottom of the 7th. Our Toyota trend. Marlins against other teams in Major League Baseball. Actually a winning record against the West. Not so good against the East. And same with the Central. And same with the American League East.
And I tell you what, a lot of games against the East coming up the final 2 months of the season.
Yeah, Marlins get into the East with the Mets and the Braves coming up on the schedule here. Dyson's pitch goes all the way to the screen. And it's a wild pitch.
Well, Monte trying to move the runner to second. Now he'll probably be trying to move Barmas over to third.
Pair of Marlins on that list. Matt Latos goes tomorrow. Almonte squares, drops it down. Good bunt. Dietrich on to first to get the out.
I always thought even if you're in the game, it's difficult to drop down a bunt in that situation. If you're pinch hitting, it's even tougher. And good job by Almonte.
Mike Dunn in the bullpen. You've got Will Venable, Yangervis Solarte. Venable up first. Solarte is a switch hitter. And that means Stan Jennings is coming out to get Sam Dyson. So here comes Dunn. A West Kendall Toyota call to the bullpen. Padres, who have a runner at third and less than 2 outs. And it's Mike Dunn who comes in and tries to get a couple of outs and keep it at 2-1. He's got Will Venable first, Yangervis Solarte. And then if anybody reaches, you got Matt Kemp and Justin Upton around the bend. It's kind of a boisterous Saturday night crowd here in San Diego.
It's a good crowd. I think they like these early starts, 5:40 local time.
Now the concert after the ball game tonight is Nelly. They just played Hot in Here, which had a lot of fans up on their feet. Melvin Upton is going to pinch hit for Venable. Mike Dunn with a fastball up.
Yeah, you try to make moves, and you like to get them in your favor. And you like this matchup, Mike Dunn against the struggling hitter, Melvin Upton, as opposed to Dyson against the guy who's been in the game, Will Venable.
Not a lot of career at-bats against Dunn. Infield's in.
And so far, so good. Mike Dunn's made some good pitches to get ahead.
Well documented the struggles of Melvin Upton Jr. 2013 he hit 184, last year 208, just a dozen homers. Dunn misses in that after a really nice run, 6 full seasons with the Rays. It was a nice part of that World Series team in 08. And a little flare. Prado can't get it, and it falls for a hit.
Well, there isn't a thing you can do about that. Mike Dunn made a great pitch, sawed off Melvin Upton Jr., and he just barely reached the outfield grass. With the infield in, I mean, that's about a foot onto the outfield grass on a great pitch that jammed it.
We just saw in Arizona Luis Gonzalez, who had a similar hit to end the 2001 World Series.
Off Mariano Rivera.
With the infield in. Runner goes. Dunn hasn't picked. And
nobody at second for Bohr to throw to.
That's an easy stolen base.
So here in this inning, the Padres are executing, and it's going the other direction for the Marlins. The two middle infielders have to get together. Remember, it hasn't been a whole lot of games Prado's been at second base this year. But the two of them have to get together as to who covers in that situation.
And he had a right-handed bat at the plate. That may have kept Echeverria in his spot. Solarte is singled in 3 trips.
It kind of, Rich, goes to what Martin Prado told Jessica the other night about the differences at third base and second base. Third base, you're reacting a lot. Second base, a lot more to think about.
There's still only 1 out. You would expect this is the last hitter that Mike Dunn's going to face. There's a right-hander ready in the pen. You've got Matt Kemp and Justin Upton up next.
Like Matt Capps is ready. Carter Capps. Did I say Matt Capps?
It's all right. He was a big reliever and threw hard. Former Pirate.
Probably done that before with Carter. The bottom line in this inning, Padres were able to get their run in from third, albeit on a little bloop. The Marlins weren't able to get their runner in from third after Real Muto got there with nobody out.
Yangervis Solarte. Counts 1-2. A run across, 3-1 San Diego, and Dunn misses in. A Clint Barmas single, a wild pitch. That was Sam Dyson on the mound. A sacrifice bunt. Move Barmas to third. Melvin Upton pinch hitting for Venable, dumped one just over the head of the drawn-in infield behind Martin Prado at second. And in a protracted at bat, Solarte waiting on a 2-2. And it goes full, 3-2. There is Kemp. He's 2 for 2 with a walk.
And if he gets to that, which it probably will, we'll see Capps pitching to Kemp.
See, I think that's where you got Matt Capps. Matt Kemp.
Matt Kemp. I had Matt on my mind.
Carter Capps. That one fouled back and out of play. Still 3-2. He got him with a high fastball. And so Mike Dunn strikes out Solarte.
Well, he stayed with his number one, his best pitch, got him to chase one maybe a little out of the zone, but good live fastball from Dunn.
Carter Capps is in the bullpen. Matt Kemp is at the plate, and so Capps, we thought, was going to come in and face Kemp, but right now it's Dunn who will face him.
And you have another right-hander on deck in Justin Upton.
I mean, ideally, you'd like to hold Capps until the 8th,
Notice on that first pitch, a slider. When we see Mike Dunn come in a game and he throws that slider first pitch for a strike, that really gets him going and makes him tougher to hit.
Counts 2-0.
Good
and
pitch.
A strike.
Yeah, there's no way Kemp was looking for that 2-0 slider. He was ready. He was ready to jump on a fastball.
So the count 2-1. Melvin Upton at second. A run across for San Diego. Now Kemp calls timeout. And it's 3-1. Well, first base is open, but you got a power bat waiting in the wings.
And another right-handed bat.
You see his numbers against Dunn. And he lost him. So Dan Jennings leaves Dunn in to face Kemp. He walks him. And we'll see if he goes to get Carter Capps to face.
Well, you know, he is. And I guess I'm surprised. If you're going to make the move to have Capps pitch to Upton, why didn't he pitch to Kemp? Just a thought.
West Kendall Toyota called to the bullpen. Carter Capps to face Justin Upton. Padres with runners first and second. Hall of Fame tomorrow. Randy Johnson, 5 Cy Youngs. Pedro Martinez won 3 of them. Look at the win percentage in his career. John Smoltz did it all as a starter and as a closer. And of course, Craig Biggio, 20 years, well over 3,000 hits, 7-time All-Star as a catcher and a second baseman and an outfielder as well. That is quite a class. And today, Dick Enberg goes in. His 6th season on Padres television. 49-year career in broadcasting. Also spent 12-13 years as the radio voice of the then California Angels.
Yeah, and growing up in Southern California, you had had two nice choices. You had Vince Scully, you had Dick Enberg.
So here's the much-awaited Carter Capps Justin Upton matchup. Melvin Upton at second. Matt Kemp at first.
You know, it's been a while. Last time for Carter Capps was in Arizona. And remember, Dan Jennings he had him heated up one other time. So there was about a 3 or 4 day period where he'd gotten heated up, and he wanted to give him a little rest. That's why he didn't pitch that one night in Arizona. So he's had 4 days right now, and certainly he's heated up.
Time called.
This is not a half inning that would please new Commissioner Manfred.
I was almost about to say that pace of play initiative never got this far to San Diego. That's a strike. Carter Capps. Fans reacting to 97. Capps' unique delivery. He opened the at-bat with a slider. Over 37,000 in the ballpark tonight. Most strikeouts in relief. See Capps at 52. It's a bit deceiving because he doesn't have all the innings that others do.
Yeah, he doesn't have the innings logged in his time in the minor leagues. So Carter Capps comes into this game his 27th appearance, but just short of 28 innings.
If you mark where he arrived back up when he was recalled to the big leagues on May 20th, he leads all relievers from that point on with 51 strikeouts. Dellin Betances has got 48. 1-2 coming. There's the slider, and it froze him. Nicely done. Carter Capps strikes out Justin Upton. Padres get a run, and the Marlins trail by 2 going to the 8th in San Diego. The 8th inning, it's time for the H.H. Gregg High Dam highlights. This looked like a grand slam.
That could have been a whole lot worse. It was a long sacrifice fly off the batter, Yonder Alonso. In the second inning, this one hurt because a 2-out double by Kennedy came home on the base hit off the bat of Will Venable. Then in the seventh inning, the Marlins get one back just like that. Home run number 5 for Derek Dietrich. That cut the lead in half. It's 2-1 ball game at that time. Padres picked up their 3rd run, infield in, little bloop, just like that. 3-1 San Diego.
Melvin Upton Jr. stays in the ball game. Straight swap in center. And Joaquin Benoit out of Pat Murphy's bullpen. A strike. Benoit's season so far. A nice 2.38 ERA, 44th appearance. Martin Prado, Christian Yelich, and then Justin Bour.
You know, certainly the back end of the Padre bullpen experienced with 2 guys like Benoit and Kimbrel.
There's been a trademark in San Diego for a long time, and that is a really good bullpen. A lot of times you don't know the names of the guys who are there. The Padres have done a nice job of finding them, developing them, plugging them into the pen, while they've had, you know, headliners at the very back at times. Trevor Hoffman, Heath Bell had a nice run here. Houston Street for a while. Good starting pitching, good bullpen, but for the Padres the challenge has been scoring runs.
They thought they had that taken care of with a lot of the moves they made this offseason.
It used to be starting pitching was the gold currency, trading deadline, offseason. Now it seems like it's a bat, or bats plural. Two balls, 2 strikes. Prado doubled back in the first. Miami has 7 hits. Padres have 8.
This has been an all too familiar score on this road trip. The Marlins have had 3 3-1 losses on this trip alone. One in Philadelphia, one in Arizona last night.
To reinforce the theme that the Padres have had trouble scoring, but they can pitch. In games this year when they score 2 or more runs, they're 44-28. When they score 3 or more runs, they're 41-19. So right now it's 3-1 San Diego. Prado trying to get aboard to lead off the 8th.
And we talked so much about that Cole Hamels no-hitter today. Phillies being the Cubs. How about that guy Jeff Francoeur? He beat the Cubs last night with a home run in the 10th inning.
He's going to be playing somewhere in August and September in a different uniform than the Phillies, because he's become just a weapon off the bench. The Marlins saw that in their series at the start of this road trip. Chopper in the hole, and Prado legs it out. And Miami has their base runner to open up the 8th. Hey, the T-Mobile fan photo. As we told you, this is a raucous crowd here in San Diego. That group out there has been on their feet all night. we've been told they are students from Ireland who are here for the summer. There's the Irish flag, and they're here, and they're having a great time. Oh yeah, I got to read this. Hashtag FL Data Strong.
Yeah, read the copy.
Data Strong fan is what you want to do, and there's your fan photo. Esther, thank you, Esther. Thank you, Irish students.
Can you imagine? And I've seen this. Can you imagine trying to explain the game of baseball to maybe a bunch of kids from Ireland who have never seen a game in person before?
I don't think they care, Tommy.
Nah, they probably don't.
I mean, look at the guy with the flag. One girl has her shoe in her hand. This is escalating towards Nelly's post-game concert. Yelich rolls this one up the middle. Jerko bobbles, steps, throws, and Yelich is safe. Barmes and Jerko met at the bag. I think Jerko wanted to take it. Barmes wanted to flip.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Jerko was thinking about flipping it out of the glove. He didn't catch it cleanly. And because he bobbled it, then he decided to take it himself. I think had he caught it cleanly, he would have flipped it out of the glove to Barmes.
So the Padres just get the one out. Here's Bohr now.
Justin Bohr, good swings tonight. Singled in the first inning, lined out to right field in the sixth.
Pitches away. Now the Padres have shifted, not as severe as we've seen. This was kind of the shift in which Bohr drilled one right where the shortstop used to be for his hit back in that first inning. It's the second time this series he's gone against the shift for a hit. And what's interesting is they may be shifting for him to pull. They're not pitching for him to pull. Benoit is trying to keep it out and away. Maybe get him to roll over on something. That's a strike. This was a David Phelps start. Phelps pitched well. 6 innings, 2 runs, 6 hits. Ian Kennedy pitched a little bit better. 6 innings, 7 hits, 1 run. One of the Padres' 3 runs charged to Sam Dyson. Now the concert is in the park beyond center field.
Boy, it's starting to get jam-packed out there now.
That is going to be one giant mosh pit. Park in the park. And they are sitting, waiting for Nelly. Tommy would like to quote a lot of Nelly lyrics right now. Two. And that's into the glove of Norris. Bohr strikes out.
Got pretty good pitch to hit that time, too. I think one of his songs is Batter Up. Probably do that tonight.
You would think so. He did not, however, sing the national anthem.
He did not.
There was, however, in the San Diego Tribune today, a really fun article on the best and worst national anthems.
At the anniversary of the
Roseanne Barr. Yes.
Roseanne.
Here in San Diego. Remember, Ichiro came in Morse's spot. On the ground, Alonso gets it, steps on the bag, and Miami is done in the 8th. 3-1 Padres. Straight to Marlins Park and book this luxury motor coach for your group. 305-480-2523 or email groups@marlins.com. In San Diego, everybody out in the park, beyond the center field wall. What a great spot that is. They're getting ready for a post-game concert. Carter Capps trying to finish off the Padres here in the bottom of the 8th. Capps misses away. Capps came in to finish off the 7th. And he finished off Justin Upton. Padres added an insurance run that inning. Yonder Alonso, Derek Norris, Jed Jerko in the 8th.
Usually see Yonder Alonso along with John Jay. He's down in the Miami area. Saw him at a couple of golf tournaments this year.
Right now, Cap's trying to collect himself. Craig Kimbrell starts his warm-up routine. That one sliced down the left field line and foul. Man, they still have a great party going on top of the Western Metal Supply Company.
They're trying to find some way up there how to pipe in Nelly after the game.
They might be able to get a pretty good view.
They might have a good view from there.
Because Nelly will be appearing right behind the batter's eye from our spot. That is a foul ball. Just foul. Yelich picks it out of the corner. Padres video room will probably look at it. That is a reviewable play. See what they see. It is foul. Not by much, though. And you can hear the crowd just react. They just showed it up top.
Yeah, the crowd just saw it on that giant screen. That's a beautiful screen out there.
It is the biggest screen in the National League. In fact, if you're coming up I-5 from Tijuana, you can see the game clearly.
You can actually see it.
I-5.
Tijuana.
Yes. Carter Capps strikes out Alonso.
Well, Alonso started to catch up to the fastball. He almost hit that one fair down the left field line, and then Capps threw the slider to get him.
Marlins live after the game. Preston Wilson, Craig Minervini. Hold-ups at third. And, of course, Derek Dietrich with a home run. Derek Norris tonight is 0 for 3. He gets jammed with a fastball. The Marlins will have Derek Dietrich, JT Realmuto, Adeiny Echeverria lined up to hit in the ninth. Capps. 3 strikeouts. 3 batters faced.
It's interesting, there was a time when Carter Capps wasn't able to command that slider, so he had to rely on the fastball. And think of it, here in this inning, the 2 strikeouts have been on the slider.
And Murphy right now, Dave Roberts, I'm sure, talking about 9th inning. Capps at 99 miles an hour misses outside. Pulled to third. Dietrich gets the outs. Greg Kimbrell and the Marlins have another date in the ninth. Florida Honda dealers. By Florida Coast Equipment, Florida's largest Kubota dealer. Visit us at FloridaCoastEQ.com. by Coral Springs Auto Mall. Across the street from the Coral Square Mall, we make it easy. A familiar sight when he was a Brave. Craig Kimbrell in from the bullpen. Derek Dietrich, JT Realmuto, Adeiny Echeverria. This was Dietrich in the 7th, and that's the only run that Miami has tonight.
And remember that following the Dietrich home run, his 5th of the year, JT Realmuto tripled. And so the Marlins had a runner at third, nobody out. And that's when Pat Murphy made a pitching change. Brandon Bauer came in the game and got the next 3 hitters out, and Realmuto was stranded at third.
So Dietrich up first.
You know, you see the numbers on Kimbrell this year, and he's 27 out of 28 in saves. The ERA a little higher than we're used to seeing. And there are some are saying it's just because he's such a high standard. He's not having the type of year he had in the past. Hasn't had a lot of clean innings. Been base runners just about every time he comes in.
He used to be automatic in Atlanta. We went through his legacy of strikeouts last night and what he's done as a reliever. We always used to get emails that he was cheating and putting pine tar on the top of his cap, the bill of his cap, but it was much more pronounced as a Brave. That's essentially where he tugs his cap. It's not pine tar, it's just dirt, rosin, maybe a little mud. And he snaps off a breaking ball. Dietrich strikes out. There's 1 out here in the 9th. Here is Realmuto. Realmuto, remember when it was his bobblehead night in Jacksonville? He had that big night. I believe it was against Cincinnati.
Against the Reds.
Well, I believe tonight was Justin Nicolino's bobblehead night. As you pointed out, he pitched a great game.
8 innings, gave up just 1 earned run.
Marcell Ozuna with a home run. So we need more bobblehead nights in Jacksonville, apparently. '97. For strike 1. Yeah, the triple from Realmuto in the 7th. Echeverria bounced out. McGee hit a shallow fly ball out, and Gillespie grounded out. And Kimbrell right now is just pouring across strikes.
We talked about it last night. He had worked once in about 6 days, and in that one outing threw 4 pitches, I believe. He looks a lot sharper tonight.
Check swing, did not go.
That's the Kimbrell that we saw the last few years with the Braves. Nasty fastballs, and he locks up Realmuto with that great
Did the Bells start with Trevor Hoffman, or has that always been a Padre thing? I know Hell's Bells was right. That was his entry song. Here's Echeverria. Kimbrel with that iconic pose.
You can just tell by the way he's right around the plate, and he really didn't even miss with that pitch. But last night wasn't the case when Kimbrel came in. Remember, he hit a batter, he walked a batter, then was able to get out of the inning.
That one at the knees and on the black, and it's a ball. The count's 1-1. Big crowd here tonight in San Diego, 37,000. A lot of them are out in a packed park, at the park, out in center field, awaiting a post-game concert. The Padres have a 3-1 lead. Craig Kimbrel is a strike away. Two and two to Adeiny Echeverria. A ground ball, diving stop. Alonzo Kimbrel is there. For the second straight night, Craig Kimbrel finishes the Marlins. And for the second straight night, it's a 3-1 score, and the Padres win it. Marlins live from our studios in South Florida. Coming up here in San Diego, Padres again 3-1.